The Fighting Nerds are a group of highly skilled fighters who recently rose to the top of their respective divisions. Unfortunately, they all got clapped. Barking Dog was put down with an elbow. Brazilian Timu Connor got wrestle ragdolled. Dad, when are you coming back with the milk? He got outcucked. And finally, the guy who no one cares about, well, he just isn't that guy. So for today, we'll be discussing these fighters, their rise to the top, and how their downfall was inevitable. If that sounds like something you would enjoy, don't forget to smack the shit out of the like button and my anus, and let's begin. To discuss the downfall of the Fighting Nerds, we need to first discuss and understand their rise. The Fighting Nerds gym was founded in 2014 in Brazil. The gym was co-founded by Caio Baralho and a coach named Pablo Sucupira. Sucupira had experience in Muay Thai and boxing, but he also had past experience working in a marketing company. Baralho comes from a grappling background, so the two strengths and weaknesses worked perfectly together. They wanted to try build something unique, and thus the Fighting Nerds were born. So that's how the gym was founded and created. But when did the other main characters come along? Well, I'm glad you asked. This is what Rufy, the Timu Conor McGregor, had to say in an interview. When I turned up at the gym, I wanted to be a fighting nerd immediately. Now this sounds like Fighting Nerds propaganda to me, but he also said that Coach Pablo put him on a 30-session trial. Basically, this is 30 strict training sessions, no pulling out. So already arm and my back hurt Saryukian would be out. But basically, this was 30 strict sessions, and if you happen to miss one session, you're out of the gym. This wasn't all that he said though. He also mentions that he's been with the Fighting Nerds for a little more than 6 years. So if my maths is mathing, that means he joined the gym somewhere around 2018 or 2019. All right, who else do we have? So Carlos Prates' entry was a little different. He went from fighting with Vale Top Team to then training in Thailand to then make his eventual return to MMA on Dana White's Contender Series. With this timeline in mind, it makes it plausible that he gravitated to the Fighting Nerds as the team grew in around 2022-2023. Now, I couldn't find a legitimate date for this because he still hasn't replied to my DMs or my nudes, so maybe we'll just never know. Okay, lastly, Gene Bork Silva. Well, he was adopted in 2023 from a local Brazilian pound, and it just so happens to be that he is also a really talented MMA fighter. You know, unlike my dogs. So that's how they joined the gym, but what about their rise? What about their success inside of MMA? Yeah, well, hold on, I'm getting there, alright? Fucking demanding, goddamn. Caio Baralho has 6 wins in the UFC. Not only that, he was also undefeated with wins against opponents like Jared Cannonier, Paul Craig, and a big bust Magomedov. Gene Silva had 5 consecutive wins in the UFC. He'd actually gone 5-0, with all wins being by TKO or stoppage. Mauricio Rufy. Now, he only had 3 wins in the UFC, but his first win was a TKO over Jamie Malaki. He then got a decision over James Lontop, and finally he went on to KO Bobblehead Green. Oh, shit, guys. You should subscribe to Soga MMA. Now, Carlos had 4 wins in a row in the UFC. This included a KO over Neil Magny and also Li Jing Liang. But then he got cucked by Ian Eminem's Gary.
I don't think that's actually Ian's son.
The Fighting Nerds at this point were on fire. They were some of the most exciting fighters in each of their stacked divisions, and they seemed unstoppable with their aura farming. But unfortunately for them, the aura would inevitably come to an end. Carlos was the first nerd to lose height points. As I mentioned earlier, Ian Gary managed to outpoint him on the outside and narrowly avoid being TKO'd in the final round. Next was Brazilian Connor. He was absolutely smushed by BSD in a one-side beatdown. In this fight, he showed he only wanted to fight on the feet, and this allowed BSD to spam endless takedowns with no repercussions, eventuating in a submission finish. The downfall curse wasn't finished there though. Later that same night, Caio put on a decent performance against Imavov, but it was a performance that showed he was not at the level of the best contender in the middleweight division. And then recently it happened. It was now or never. The Nerds needed their final aura farm to restore their gym's reputation. Okay, Gene, we rescued you from the pound. We saved your life. Roof, that's right, boy. We need you to rebuild our name. We need you to save our gym. Roof. No, you dumb dog, not like that. That's right, Gene Silver was slain by the same aura-farming elbow he was spamming throughout the night. A fitting end for the Fighting Nerds. Now, don't get me wrong, the Fighting Nerds obviously aren't done. They've just had a massive downfall. And look, the reason I titled this video Inevitable Downfall is not because these guys have been fraud checked and that they're crap. It wasn't that at all. These guys are obviously amazing, and it's so rare to have so many talented, high-level fighters at one gym. And not only that, to have all of them be inside of the top 5 to 10. But that's exactly why this downfall was inevitable. Look, to be the best in the UFC, you truly are a specimen. You have to be someone who can stand out against all the talent, hard work, and game planning from elite coaches and fighters all around the world. To be able to do that and consistently win with no losses and make it all the way to the top and win a belt is just something that doesn't happen often. So to want your gym essentially undefeated and to have them all holding titles is just something I don't think is possible. So yes, the downfall of the Fighting Nerds was inevitable, because they've entered a pool of fighters who are the best in the world, who have sacrificed just as much as them, and who are extremely talented in their own given ways. And they didn't even do bad. They all put up a decent performance. Except for you, Rufy. Bad Rufy. 100 sprawls in the corner. Off you go. Actually, keep going until you realize what you've done wrong. So guys, now that the Fighting Nerds have firmly set themselves in their divisions and their rankings, what do you think? Do you think they'll continue to fall? Do you think they'll rise once again? Do you think it's a matter of getting some wins and momentum back on their side? Or do you think that they are due to stay out of title contention for the rest of their careers? Well, the next fight is Carlos Prates versus Leon Edwards, so we will find out very soon. UFC 222, November 15th. We will find out. Guys, that is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed. If you're new here, don't forget to smack the shit out of the like and subscribe button and my anus. I want to apologize on my upload schedule. Recently, I was quite sick and just being a bitch. But less excuses, more videos on the way. As I said, spank the subscribe button and click this video here. It's going to be a banger, and I'll see you soon for the next upload. Peace out.